So Paul Saxman, developer advocate here at Google, and with me is Marcelo. He's the technical lead on the Places API, and we're just going over a quick demo of the APIs, the Places APIs that are available. There's 3 big ones, and he's going to start out with the Places autocomplete and go into the moderator queue, go through the questions in moderator queue, and then do a few questions that we hear pretty regularly about Places API, or go over a few questions we hear regularly, and then on to kind of the interactive portion of the show. So I guess it's all interactive. Right, so if anybody has questions along the way, fire them off, and we'll put them in moderator. We'll try to get to them. So.
All right, so going through the demo again. So I'm starting with autocomplete. So if you guys are not familiar, autocomplete takes the user input, and as the user is typing the name of a place, it will be suggesting possible places based on the string that he typed and also the viewport of the map. It's pretty similar to the autocomplete feature that you have on maps.google.com. So here I start with looking at the whole map of the globe, and I'll just start typing, let's say, L. So it's suggesting me London, Los Angeles. If I type B, Berlin, Barcelona. So let's pick San Francisco. So I use the data coming back from the autocomplete widget and use that to recenter and zoom in into my map. And I'm getting that viewport back from the map and feeding back into the autocomplete widget. So now I'll try again the same 2 searches. So I start with an L. Now getting Lombard Street in San Francisco. The B, which used to give me Berlin, Barcelona, will giving me Berkeley as the first result.
See, Brazil was in the top list there. You have some connection with Brazil?
Yes, I'm Brazilian. But, so it looks like Google Maps like Brazil better than Belgium. That's good. So if I now, let's try getting a Starbucks. So I type the star, I go to Starbucks. So what I'll do here, I'll add a restriction. So let's say that I want only establishment. So that's local listing, so business. I won't be getting any address or countries or anything like that back. So if I now type S, I get SFO. So, San Francisco Zoo Society, ST. So you see, ST is enough for me to get Starbucks there. So I get a bunch of Starbucks. So no matter how hard I try, I won't be getting San Francisco as a result, for instance. I could try instead, let's say, switch to geocodes. So geocodes will actually just give me addresses, right? So if I try, let's try getting Starbucks again. So I get Starbucks Drive somewhere in California, but I don't get Starbucks. So I get even a Starbucks Way. Another restriction I can use is country restrictions. So I can type let's see, a country code here. Let's say Australia.
I have a challenge for you. Can we tell if there's a Starbucks on Starbucks Way?
Well, we could try. We could go geocode. Let me remove the Australian restrictions. Let's say Starbucks Way. Yeah, we have a Starbucks Way, and now we try establishment.
I see. So you're basically taking the union of 2 searches to get you.
Yeah, well, I used the first search to get me to Starbucks Way, and then I switched it back to establishment and doing the search for Starbucks. So there is this, I forgot where Starbucks Way is, but yeah, so there's a Starbucks roasting plant in Starbucks Way. Probably the Starbucks roasting plant is naming the route called Starbucks Way. So it makes sense that we have some relationship there. So yes.
Cool.
So challenge accepted. So going back to, let's say, let me go back to San Francisco. And I'll put a restriction of country, Australia. And if I type G, so although I'm looking at San Francisco and I'm typing G, I'm getting the Gold Coast in Queensland. If I remove the country restriction, type G again, what I'll be getting is Gary Danko, the restaurant in San Francisco. So the country restriction will pretty much overrule completely the viewport biasing.
Cool. So each of these requests, you're passing what information? You're passing the type, potentially a country, the search query, and then also the bounding box for your view?
Yep.
Cool.
And the backend will mix those up and try to come up with will rank all the results and bring back the top 5 or 10.
And this is all in JSON, XML, kind of easily digestible formats?
Yeah, so we have a JS API. That's what I'm using here. But also, if you're writing something that is not using JavaScript, you can also use the web service. And the web service will either give you responses in JSON or XML. So if we go, let's try going to Sydney. And then I want to show you a really recent addition, which is we call the type collections. So, autocomplete is restricted in that we can only use the top 2 types from the type hierarchy, which are establishment and geocode. So you cannot specify, say, restaurants or localities or suburbs. So all we've added to try to mitigate that is type collections. So for instance, if I type here, looking at Sydney, I type G, I'll be getting first result, Sydney George Street, right? But if I instead choose regions and type G again, I'll be getting Glebe back. And Glebe is a suburb of Sydney, which is in Australia, suburbs and cities, they have the same meaning. If I type N instead, I'll be getting New South Wales, which is the state, and a bunch